In the year 1780, in a small village nestled in the rugged hills of Wales, a boy named Ewan Griffiths was born into a world that offered nothing but struggle. His family's cottage was little more than four walls and a roof held together by mud and straw. His father was a miner, descending into dark, suffocating tunnels to dig coal, while his mother worked tirelessly to wash clothes and mend garments for wealthier families. Meals were sparse, warmth was a dream, and hope was something whispered about, not experienced. From the very beginning, Ewan learned that life was not gentle. It demanded endurance, courage, and grit. As a child, Ewan often went without shoes, trudging through mud and icy streams. He watched other boys laugh, play, and attend school, while he fetched water, gathered firewood, and helped his family survive. Teachers ignored him. Neighbors whispered that he would amount to nothing. But in the quiet of the night, huddled under a threadbare blanket, Ewan promised himself, "I will not be forgotten. I will rise. One day they will know my name." That promise became a quiet fire in his heart. By the age of 8, tragedy struck. His father suffered a mining accident that left him bedridden and unable to work. Ewan's mother tried to manage both the home and meager income, but the family teetered on the edge of starvation. Ewan, though just a boy, understood that he must act. He took work wherever it was available, helping at the docks, carrying goods, tending animals, and even running errands for wealthier villagers. The work was relentless, often leaving him bleeding, cold, and hungry. Yet with every ache, every pang of hunger, he grew stronger. He learned that suffering, while cruel, could be a teacher. By 10, Ewan discovered a fascination with the mountains that surrounded his village. He would climb the steep cliffs, sometimes risking his life, just to understand the terrain, the weather, and the secrets hidden in the valleys below. The elders warned him, "One day, you'll fall and never rise." But Ewan felt alive only when challenged, and danger became a companion rather than a threat. In those mountains, he learned balance, patience, and courage, qualities that would later define his life. By 12, he began apprenticing with a local shepherd. The work was grueling, long hours tending sheep in freezing wind and snow. But it taught him discipline, responsibility, and resourcefulness. He learned to navigate harsh terrain, care for animals, and survive in conditions that would have broken most adults. By 14, Ewan had become skilled in managing both the animals and the land, earning respect from his master and villagers alike. Yet life's challenges were far from over. At 15, a devastating flood destroyed the family's cottage and most of their belongings. For weeks, they lived in makeshift shelters, scavenging for food. Many would have surrendered to despair, but Ewan had learned resilience. He worked tirelessly, rebuilding the cottage with his own hands, helping his mother repair what little they had, and ensuring his siblings survived. In those days of disaster, he understood a profound truth. Courage is forged in the fires of adversity, and strength grows when you refuse to give up. By 17, Ewan had developed a reputation in the nearby towns as a strong, intelligent, and capable young man. He began taking odd jobs on the roads, guiding merchants through the hills, transporting goods, and sometimes protecting caravans from bandits. Each job was a lesson in negotiation, leadership, and strategy. He earned just enough to send money home, but more importantly, he was learning the skills that would later elevate him beyond the limitations of his village. At 20, he made a bold decision to leave the hills entirely and seek opportunity in Cardiff, the bustling port city. With nothing but a small bundle of clothes, a knife, and the fire of ambition, Ewan journeyed through mountains and valleys, surviving storms, hunger, and threats from thieves along the way. When he finally arrived, he found the city overwhelming. Streets were crowded, the smell of coal and fish was strong, and opportunities were scarce. Many laughed at the ragged boy from the hills. But Ewan had faced far worse. He found work as a dockhand, lifting crates, unloading ships, and enduring abuse from foremen and sailors. The pay was meager, and the work was exhausting, but Ewan's determination set him apart. He observed the merchants, studied their methods, learned the value of trade, and discovered opportunities hidden in plain sight. By 22, he had begun trading small goods on his own, buying fish and wool cheaply from nearby villages and selling them in the city for a profit. His first attempts were modest, but every transaction taught him more about negotiation, risk, and the world of commerce. By 25, Ewan had saved enough to start a small business importing goods from across the coast. Many doubted him, an orphan boy with no family, no formal education, but he worked tirelessly, learning bookkeeping, hiring apprentices, and gradually building a reputation for reliability and fairness. His ventures were not without challenges. Storms destroyed shipments, dishonest partners tried to cheat him, and financial setbacks threatened ruin. Each time, he analyzed his failures, learned from them, and returned stronger. By 30, Ewan Griffiths had become a respected merchant in Cardiff. He owned a fleet of small trading ships, employed dozens of men, and had earned a level of wealth and influence that seemed unimaginable to the boy who once went hungry on the hills of Wales. Yet, he never forgot the cold nights, the hunger, and the hardships that had shaped him. He returned to his village to help rebuild schools, provide opportunities for children, and mentor the young who had no family or fortune. He knew firsthand that courage, discipline, and perseverance could change a life. Over the next decade, Ewan expanded his trade across England and Ireland. His business grew, but more importantly, he became a symbol of hope and resilience. Stories of the boy from the hills who overcame poverty, natural disasters, and rejection spread across towns and villages. People came to him for guidance, for mentorship, and for inspiration. Every coin he earned, every ship he launched, was a testament to the power of determination and hard work. Ewan often reflected on the lessons of his youth. Hardship is inevitable. Pain is temporary, and failure is a teacher. Hunger taught him strategy. Cold taught him endurance. Ridicule taught him resilience. He learned to face fear, to take risks, and to act when others hesitated. By the time he reached 40, Ewan Griffiths was not just a wealthy merchant. He was a legend. The boy who had once scavenged for scraps, who had slept hungry, and who had been mocked by his village, had risen to respect, prosperity, and influence. Yet wealth never changed his values. He continued to support his family, mentor orphans, and teach young men and women that the world's cruelty could be overcome with courage and discipline. He often walked through the hills of his childhood, remembering the nights spent huddled in blankets, listening to the wind and whispering promises to himself. Those memories fueled his humility and compassion. Ewan's life proved a universal truth. Circumstances do not define a person. Their choices, discipline, courage, and resilience do. From the harsh hills of Wales to the bustling ports of Cardiff, he demonstrated that no amount of poverty, loss, or hardship can stop someone with determination. Every struggle he faced became a stepping stone, every failure a lesson, and every challenge an opportunity to grow stronger. His story inspired countless others. The boy who had faced hunger, cold, orphanhood, and despair, had risen not only to wealth and respect, but to a life of purpose. He showed that perseverance, hard work, and vision could transform even the bleakest beginnings into a legacy of hope and triumph. Ewan Griffiths became a living proof that from hardship, greatness can emerge. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories inspired by Eric Bertrand Larssen.